Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talk with Terry Tuesday. So, you guys know there's a lot of stuff happening in February. Number one, it is Black History Month. So, get some history on all of the wonderful and famous people who have done inventions, created businesses, lots of different things that we as a community contribute to society. It is also Heart Health Awareness Month. So this is why I have on red lipstick. It's not real red, but you get the meaning. So take care of your heart. If you have high blood pressure, make sure you are watching your diet, get a little bit of exercise in, watch your salt intake, um, and just take care of yourself. There's so many things that have gone on for the last 2 years. It is time for us to try to get back to some normalcy, and that begins with taking care of our health. So, just those 2 points I wanted to start off the program with. Next, let's do a little bit of follow up as far as where we are with the new building. So I think we did a little short podcast. It was real brief and spontaneous about the new location. It is coming along. We are excited. We have not decided when we're going to actually have the grand opening. It's taken a little bit longer. There's some things that we have to wait for to be installed before we can actually completely open up, but we will keep you tuned in to that. It is getting closer. Walls are up. Painting is starting. So floors are going in. So all those things are happening, and we are very, very excited about it. Just a reminder, this is going to be a wellness center. So we will have a fitness center, a yoga studio, an IV infusion center, massages, the medical spa, the medical office. We will have a conference room downstairs where we can do seminars and just bring more education to the community. So that's what we have to look forward to. We actually also have been in talks with a psychologist who is also willing to come maybe 1 or 2 days, because we also have to take care of that important part called your mental health. Without the mental health portion, everything else kind of goes by the wayside. So we want to make sure we're taking care of your physical health, your aesthetic health, your mental health, your fitness level, so your overall well-being. So let's get started with some things that's going on for the month of February at Allure Laser and Wellness Spa. I am Dr. Tony Scott Terry. I am the medical director of Allure Laser Medical Spa. We are located in Tinley Park, Illinois. The phone number here is 708-864-4988. We want you to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channels, listen to our podcast on Spotify and Anchor.fm, and share this broadcast if you know someone who's talked about what we're going to discuss today, or interested, or they just have questions about what goes on at Allure. So today we are talking about dermal fillers. Now, what are derma fillers? It is just what it sounds like. It actually replaces volume in areas that you have lost or you have never had. So derma fillers, there's multiple different brands out there for derma fillers. We have some that we use pretty regular, and we're actually getting some other ones when we move next month to the new location. But I'm going to start off with telling you there are calcium type derma fillers. There are hyaluronic acid derma fillers. There are some that are short term. There are some that are long term. There are some that the weight of it is very different, and that determines where you're actually going to put that filler. So lots of different areas where we can actually use derma fillers. The main areas that people use derma fillers for, and you can actually see mine starting to come back, is right here in these lines here. They're called the nasal labial fold because it's the nose and then the labia of the lips. So this is the area where most people are concerned about. What we used to do before is just actually fill this area. But what we have discovered is that especially in your 40s, 50s, and some people even in their 30s, fat pads when you're 20s and you're young and you're youthful and you're living your best life, they're usually sitting up here. So fat pads go up here. As we start to get a little bit older, a little bit more age, but with age comes finer things. These fat pads start to drop. You start to become deficient here, and you start to get a fold here. And it's just because now these fat pads that used to sit up here are now sitting down here, making the sad face. So what can we do about it? You can do some skin tightening, but skin tightening does not replace volume. Sometimes you actually need to replace the volume in order to give you that more youthful appearance. So what we do when we're having someone come in and their concern is they're flat here, they see a little bit more darkness underneath their eyes, and they have this fold here that they're more concerned about, well, we replace that volume in your mid face. And what we do, watch how this magically works. So lines, deficit, we lift. so, and once again, it is probably time for my filler as well because I can start to see the deficit. But what we do is we inject you at different points in your mid face. And people are like, oh my God, is that going to be awful? No, it is not awful. It feels weird. You can sometimes even hear it a little bit, but it's not painful. And we can numb you. We can actually put ice on it. That helps a lot with alleviating any discomfort. But what we do is we fill you here. So when we're lifting you here, this is not as prominent and this starts to lift up. So the more I fill, all those areas start to lift. That's what the fillers will do. Now, we have some people who they don't need any extra volume. They've got a lot of volume here and their concern is just here. We can use a different filler in this area alone that will actually soften these lines if that's what your concern is. We can also do filler for, and this is because we actually, as we start to get older, gravity is not our friend with age. So what happens is that you start to get more fullness around the jawline. We can actually do things to actually define more of the jawline. So all of those things are derma fillers. There are some people who hate their hands because the hands make them look aged. We can actually do filler in the hands. Is that painful? No, we have things that we can do to numb the area so that it is very, very comfortable for you. And we can actually treat the hands so your hands look more youthful. Now, what are some of the derma fillers that we use? And also under the eyes. So we do use derma fillers under the eyes, and that gives you a little bit more fullness underneath here. Even if you've done a mid cheek, but you're still hollow underneath here, we can actually put a filler here. There are some people who have like a deficit in their temples. So this kind of really indents in, and a lot of times it makes the face look more aged. So putting fillers in the temple area will also help to kind of give you that youthful appearance. So we use several different fillers. I use Radiesse, which has it has calcium in it. What I tell people, this is a little heavier filler, and what it will do. So this is the Radiesse that we use. So this has you can feel it. It's a little bit firmer. I use it for people who have heavier skin, and it'll kind of give you a little bit more of a lift, and it'll smooth that out so that you don't have the lines, you don't have the hollowness, and you actually have that more youthful appearance. We have Voluma. This is another option that we can use to give you a more youthful appearance. Radiesse, usually, so this is the Radiesse. they say it's a year, probably lasts about 9 months for most people. Voluma, um, they say it lasts about 2 years. Usually, what we found is that it may last about a year and a half. And that is because when they're doing the studies for these, a lot of times they're doing 4 and 5 syringes. We're not. We're only going to be doing, most people, 3 at the most, usually, unless you want to do multiple areas of the face, and we can, to give you the full um, liquid facelift is what we call it, but without having the surgery. So that's Voluma. That's the other one that we will use in the mid face. Now we have some other fillers that, this is February, so lips are a big thing because it's Valentine's Day. So people want those really beautiful, rounded, perky lips. Well, we can put filler in your lips to actually give you that volume. Now, I'm not suggesting that we put 2 or 3 syringes of filler in your lips because this is what a syringe looks like. Um, it's about 1 milliliter. So if you, I'm trying to think, maybe about a teaspoon is how much this actually is, or a tablespoon. But we don't want to overfill your lips to a point where they've expanded way beyond what they should be, because then people start to get into problems with having the filler actually move to other locations where you don't want it. So we try to really be not extremely conservative, but to a point where it's not causing you any harm or you're not having any problems with that. There are some other fillers that, like I said, we can do under the eye because you want a softer filler under the eye. Everyone is not a candidate for fillers under the eye. If you have a lot of bulging underneath the eye, you should not be getting a filler underneath the eye. The only thing that's going to do is make it bulge more. So I've had people come in and they're like, I want to treat my eye. You can't treat that with a filler. A lot of times that may require surgical removal of that area to give it a smoother look. But just be cautious when people are doing fillers underneath the eye and they're filling a hollow space, not an area that is bulging. There's also the Volbella, which is another Juvederm product. It can actually fill fine lines. So my smokers, which I hope I don't have a whole lot of smokers, and if you do, we can work on trying to get you to quit. But in the meantime, if you have those smoker lines, we can actually use Volbella or something soft to actually smooth out those lines. We can also use Volbella, and I like to use Velour as well. It's another Juvederm product um, for people who have the lines in their lips. So smoker lines are usually here in these folds, but if your lips have lots of lines in it and you don't like that, you can use a softer filler like Velour or Voluma to just smooth the lips so that they look softer. You don't see a bunch of the lines. Um, we are actually going to be getting Sculpture. We're looking at some other brands that may last a little bit longer than the 1.5 to 2 years, but they're not permanent. There are some permanent fillers. I'm not a huge fan of them because if something happens and you don't like it, you have to have that surgically removed. So lots of different options for fillers, lots of different areas that we can treat with fillers. And that's actually one of the specials that we are doing this month at Allure is we are doing $75 off of the fillers. But once again, like I said, fillers will help. It's it can be used as like a liquid facelift, but that if you're doing your whole face, that may require quite a few syringes. But it is non invasive. You go home the same day. Your recovery time is very minimal. As my marketing person is touching her face to feel, I guess, to figure out if she needs her filler. I don't know. I don't know. That just kind of caught me. I was like, oh, she's filling her face. But yes, We all go to the mirror and we do this. We're like, I just wanted to lift like this. That's what the fillers will do. It actually gives you that lift so that you don't have the hollowness here, you don't have the lines here, and it gives you that more youthful appearance. It also can define the cheeks more. So when you're doing the highlighter for your cheeks, well, now we've highlighted your cheeks with the filler and you give it more definition. Um, any questions so far about fillers? Okay, we'll also kind of let you know for the rest of the month for February, we are also doing facials because it's time once again just to kind of get back to ourselves, doing things that kind of make us feel and look better. So we have our hydrofacials, we have our dermaplaning, we have micro needling. They are all on special this month because it is Valentine's month. So it's about love, it's about health. And remember, make sure you are tuning in or learning something about another culture or about your own culture and what we have all contributed to society as. So remember, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. No, listen to our podcast on Spotify at anchor.fm. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this broadcast. I tried to remember. I got the first two right. I'm going to get it before we move over to the new place. But remember, this is a really special month. It's about love. Make sure you're taking care of your heart and also make sure that you are looking into Black history. Oh, hi, Donna. Yes, come get your facial. They are on special this month. And it's a relaxing time. And once again, sometimes we have to just take a moment and do something for ourselves, even if it's something as small as getting a facial, getting a massage, going out to, well, I don't know if you're still doing dinner, but or virtual dinner, but doing something just so that you can reset yourself and get back to some semblance of normalcy because we've had a tough couple of years. So keep that in mind. We thank you for always tuning in to us in our podcast and Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget, we are doing our health portion of the podcast as well. That's myself and Dr. Clark White, and we've had some really interesting topics that we've talked about. We are looking forward to doing topics on mental health because that is something that I think we definitely need to address. And so if you have questions about anything or there are topics that you want to discuss or concerns that you may have, send us an email, send us a message on Facebook. I don't know if you can message on Instagram. I'm not good at it, but you can connect with us. Once again, our phone number here is 708-864-4988. Our current location is 7062 West 183rd Street in Tinley Park, but our new location will be right across the street. So you don't have to go far, just right across the street. And that location is going to be about your total well-being and wellness. But thank you guys for staying in touch. Keep watching us. Like I said, we do these. Hi, Sandy! Yay! It is facial time. So we have some great new additions that we're adding to the facility. So on our next podcast, we're going to introduce our whole staff, including the new ones that are come on. So it's exciting to see the growth. We've been very, very blessed during these times. Once we actually do our grand opening and christening, we'll have all types of we'll have a priest, we'll have a minister, we'll have a rabbi. Um, Everybody will be there to bless the new place because this has been a blessing. It has been something that we have, talked about and dreamed of for a long time, and now it's coming to fruition. So once again, thank you guys for staying with us. We'll keep you informed on the progress. Once we move in, we'll give you all the information about our grand opening. But thank you, thank you, thank you. And come see us. Like I said, come get a facial, relax, get your filler, lift your face up. So, all of those good things. And we'll see you next month. Bye.